Hello and welcome everyone to this webinar. My name is Florent and I'm coach at ChallengeMe. Today I will be presenting the new version of the ChallengeMe platform, focusing on the use case of peer evaluation for classroom presentation. To begin, I will provide a brief overview of the company. ChallengeMe is a peer evaluation solution, and we work with most business school, engineering school, and the university in Switzerland, and Canada. Our platform is fully integrated with LMS of schools like Moodle, Blackboard, and Brightspace, for example. So let's look at the benefits of the peer evaluation. At ChallengeMe, we have defined two main types of evaluation with different benefits. The evaluation of works, where students will need to complete a task, a presentation in our today use case, and the other student will have to evaluate the work of the other groups. The second one is the evaluation of group members. This type of activity takes place after a group work, where students simply have to evaluate the member of their group based on different criteria. At ChallengeMe, we called peer review activity a challenge. A challenge is constructed in several phases that you can set up as you fit. Each phase has its own date, own participant, and options. Here are the different types of phases you can add to a challenge. You have the work submission phase, where students can submit their work on the platform. You have the work or presentation evaluation phase, where students will have to evaluate the work or presentation of the other students. The group member evaluation phase, the feedback evaluation phase, where students will have to evaluate the feedback they received. And the result phase, to allow students to view the evaluation they have received. The result phase is only for students. Whether you create it or not, as a teacher, you will of course have access to all the results. With all these phases, you can create different challenges, and here are some examples for today's use case. So, first example, you create three phases. The first, where students will submit their presentation on the platform in PDF or PowerPoint, for example. Then the second phase, where students, spectators can evaluate the presentation of the other groups. And at the end of the presentation, the students can review the feedback and evaluations they have received through the evaluation phase. Second example, the students do not need to submit their presentation on the platform. At ChallengeMe, we consider this as an external submission. You will therefore need to create this external submission phase by indicating the groups that will make their presentation. Then you will have an evaluation phase where student spectator can evaluate the presentation of the other groups, and as in the first example, a result phase. The third example shows you how you can create different submission and evaluation phases depending on the group presenting, if, for example, the presentation takes place over several days. Let's go directly on the platform to see how to add a Challenge Me activity and how to set up a challenge for this type of use case. So I'm back in Moodle and I'm logged in as a teacher. I go to my course when I want to add my Challenge Me activity. I put the edit mode on and I simply add my activity in my course. I fill the name of my activity and I click on Save and Display. That's all. I had my first Challenge Me activity, and now I will set up my challenge. Here you have two options for setting up your challenge. Simplified mode, where you have to fill in the challenge question form, which will be checked by our team, and then your challenge will be published. Or direct mode, where you can create your challenge as you like with all the options available in the new version, and it will be published directly without any verification of our part. And today, I will show you how to create a challenge in direct mode. Here you will find the two main type of evaluation we propose. In our use case today, evaluation of in-class presentation is considered to be the evaluation of work here. We offer several models, and there are two of interest to us today: the evaluation of in-class presentation without deposit and the evaluation of in-class presentation with deposit. I will show you how to create this type of challenge with no deposits. Here you have the general settings with the challenge title and some summary on this challenge. You can modify the title if you need, and the summary as well. The summary will be sent to the participant by email when the challenge starts. If you make some modification here, don't forget to click on save to not lose your modification. Just here you have the phase settings. This is here where you set up all the phases on your challenge. The first phase is a group registration phase. You simply need to add some participant to this phase because you don't want the participant put their work on the platform. So you just have to indicate which will be the groups or the participants who make their presentation. You just have to click to enroll individuals or enroll teams. In my example, I will add some teams. And you just have to click on each teams you want to involve in this challenge. I will add these 4 teams and enroll them in the challenge. So my team are added directly in the challenge. And for the group registration, that's all. You just have to add some participant. After, I will set up the evaluation of the presentations phase here directly. I just have to fill some dates, the start date of the evaluation and the end date of the evaluation. Let's say the evaluation will be tomorrow at 9 and the evaluation ends tomorrow at 11. In this type of evaluation, you don't need to put on the notification because you don't want the student receive an email. Don't forget to click on save each time you make some modification. You can fill some instruction. You have this instruction by default, but you can modify it if you need. And after you have the evaluation criteria. By default, we provide some criteria. You can use the criteria we define, but you can create your own, or you can add some criteria in the predefined criteria base directly. If you don't want some criteria here, you just have to remove them. You can remove them all if needed, and you can add your own criteria. Here, you just have to fill the name and the description, and you can add some criteria from our database. Maybe this one is interesting for you, and this one, and you just have to click and select your criteria. On each criteria, you can also activate some option. You can allow participants to submit feedback on this criteria, and you can ask to the student to fill the feedback in a mandatory way directly. Uncheck this checkbox, and you can activate this option on each criteria. After you have some option here, you can enable the global feedback. Recommend to always put on this option. You can ask to the student to feed the feedback in a mandatory way. Here you have to fill the number of presentation the student will have to evaluate directly. So I have 4 teams, so I will put 4 directly. If I'm a part of a team, I will not evaluate my own team, of course. You can activate this option, show the author of the presentation. Just after, I have to fill the participants. Since I've already had the participant in the group registration phase, I just have to reuse some enrollment from phase, and I will say I want to take the participant from the group registration phase, and all my participant has been added directly in this phase. Finally, if I want students to be able to consult their result, I just have to add some option in the result display phase. And you just have to fill the date when the student will be able to consult their result. Let's say Monday at 9. And I want the student will see their score and the feedback they received. You can also display the evaluation score on each feedback received. And after, you can show the author of the received feedback if you do not wish the result to be anonymous. Once all this step is done, you just have to click on save and don't forget to click on publish to publish your activity, and the activity, the challenge will start at the indicated dates. That's all for the creation of this challenge. And now I will show you how to follow up your challenge directly on the platform. So I'm back in Moodle in my course. To see the result and the participation of your challenge, you just have to click on your activity and you will be redirected on your challenge. You just have to click on the result viewer button here. And here you have some information on your challenge. You have the score distribution, the class average, the best score by team. You can sort by worst score if needed. You also have the criteria average score to see the average on all criteria for all the groups. And just here you have the detail of each participant and the score they received with their groups, the number of feedback they received, the number of evaluation and feedback they received. You can also see if each participant has made his evaluation. Here with this column, you can click to sort this column to see the number of evaluation done by each participant. You can click on each participant to see the evaluation he received with his groups and the evaluation made by the student. So I click here and I have all the information and all the evaluation made by the student with the feedback and the score details here. You can also edit this evaluation if needed. If the evaluation is not relevant, you can set this evaluation as a draft and ask to the student to make this evaluation again. You can set this evaluation invalid, or you can also delete the evaluation if the evaluation is wrong, for example. You can also see the evaluation received by Sacha Bonnet and his team. Here, you have also the score distribution received by his group, the score per criterion if needed. The red check mark here is the class average. So we see here the score received by his group is under the class average. And you see here all the feedback this group received directly, and you have also the score details. You have a little information here on if the evaluation is considered by the system overscored or underscore. It's just an information. There is no penalty on this evaluation. It's just an information for you to check if the evaluation is relevant or not. You can also sort this list by group to see directly the average of each group and the standard deviation. And you can click on the group to see the average of the groups directly here. You can search a group if you want to filter the result on one group or severals directly. You can search a unique user if you want to see the evaluation of one user in particular. You can also export all this information on Excel format if needed, and you retrieve in the Excel sheet all this data, the name of the participant, his group, the number of feedback he received, the score average, the evaluation sent by the student, and in other tab in the Excel sheet, you have all the feedback given and received by each group and each participant. As you see, there is a lot of other information on the screen that may be of interest of you. And now, for the last thing, I will show you how to see the challenge as a student. It's very simply, you just have to click on the button here in the preview button, and you will see the challenge as a student. You just have to choose a student to see the challenge as he sees it. And here you have the information on the challenge, the different step, the different phase of this challenge. And here's the instruction. And the evaluation needs to be done by the student. We see he already validate all his evaluation. This interface allows you to quickly see how it looks for a student. And that's all for this webinar. I hope you find it interesting and do not hesitate to contact us if you have some question or if you want assistance in creating your own challenges. Thank you all, and I wish you a very good afternoon, and I hope I see you soon. Bye bye.